Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture, and we are talking philosophy today and what is behind the ongoing conflict in Ukraine right now. With me in the studio is Maria Kądzielski. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it is forgotten in Poland to think in a geopolitical way, but it is necessary right now, especially to understand what's going on in Ukraine, why it happened, and what will the future bring, and what is the Russian concept of, the future of Europe, because it unfortunately seems important. In the previous episode, we talked about Alexander Dugin and his concept, and the concept of katechon, a concept of a person who will save the world, or not person, but it could be a political institution or a country which saves the world from the ultimate evil. And in the opinion of Dugin, this is Russia. So Russia is basically saving the world, and especially Europe, from evil, which sounds, I would say, ironical.
Well, this is what they declare, and most probably this is what they truly believe. So that's why this concept should be taken seriously. And this concept of katechon, is now used more extensively. In history, it was understood in many different ways. I mean, the katechon was to be a Catholic Church or a state of Rome. Today, there are people who claim that, for instance, Pope Benedictus is a katechon, or Donald Trump is a katechon. They mean it in the United States, but Dugin truly believes and says that Russia is a katechon, that Russia is a kind of messianic state. Russia is a third Rome, that he says that Russia is not a civilization, it is a culture. So he is using this concept in slightly different ways that we are doing in the West, because on the other hand, it says that in the West, they have their civilizations, but we are very much barbaric in Russia, but we are the culture, so we are standing above their civilizations. This is absolutely the very much independent civilization center, and this is absolutely somehow determined by God himself to be this ultimate power, because the katechon is the one who withholds, and the katechon withholds the coming of the Antichrist and the beginning of the apocalypse. So the role of katechon is essential in this concept. But Dugin is referring also to some concepts of Carl Schmitt, who was also referring to the concept of katechon, and why it is important. Because on the grounds of Carl Schmitt's theory, the katechon was used to underline the application of some extraordinary means in this ultimate struggle. And this is something that led Russians to a justification of the special means they are using in the Ukraine, because they believe and they openly claim that this is something, a kind of war between good and evil. So what they believe, that they are this force. We have this Euro-Asiatic civilization and Atlantic civilization, and the Atlantic one with this Catholicism and Protestantism are evil ones. And the one that we observe in Russia with the Orthodox character is the Messianic one, is the good one. So they are defending the real values, and their mission is to disseminate those values, but not as at least what they declare, not by constructing the one global empire, but in the way of constructing those circles of influences with Russia, Germany, Iran and Japan as the centers. But still the world should be split into several circles, but definitely it should not be construed in the way it is now. So the goal and the good things that are happening is pushing out the Americans and the United States as far as possible from Europe and from Asia, because they are disseminating evil in the world.
And this is, of course, extremely important because this would change the face of Europe and the current order which we are having, and is provided by Russia in the most horrible way by murdering, raping, and destroying Ukraine. And this is, of course, something what we want you to understand as well, how Russians are looking at the world, what they want the world to look like, especially how they want Europe to look like, and what plans of Russians are. This is all very much planned. So if you want to understand what's going on in Ukraine right now, do read Dugin. That's our message to you. And of course, thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.